And just like that, we're in the parking lot of Pet World for our next video. Guys, it's been 10,000 miles with the BMW. Somehow I've had this car for like, it's been like 6 months, almost 7 months. I put 10,000 miles on it, 2,000 miles of which were put on in the last week and a half, because I just took her on her first road trip. What is this? I don't know, but anyway, this has been 10,000 miles, people, with a BMW, luxury car world, going from an Altima to German, and I thought it would be a good time to give my my updates on the car. So this is my 2015 535. What are all these little dust balls? Are these? What are all these? Are these scratches? I just washed the car. These can't be scratches. They don't want to come off. It looks like almost like paint. Oh no. Well, anyway guys, I just washed the car, that's why I'm noticing all this stuff. But it's been 10,000 miles with this car, and it's been good. It's had some issues, but nothing that it hasn't sorted itself out. Exterior's been fine. The first issue I had was about 4,000 miles ago. This headlight started flickering, the halos and the light strip up there started flickering, and I got a bunch of emergency lights on the dash saying like high beam like assist and this other failure and this failure and swiveling headlight failure. All those failures popped up, and then it disappeared and started working again after like a day or two. So yeah, that happened. Otherwise, brakes had to get replaced. That's just normal wear and tear item. They're big, chunky, and they are more expensive than regular car brakes. I think the set ran me like $600 in FCP Euro. Otherwise, trunk's big, open. So basically this car, the back window at some point in its life was broken. As you can, I don't know if you can see that cut right there in the fabric under the window. But it keeps like pooping out glass shards every so often. I vacuumed this yesterday and it still keeps pooping out glass shards, and I don't know from where. Otherwise, trunk's been fine. I think it's been fine with this car. Come on, there we go. Still getting used to some of the German things. Back seats have been fine. I did again had a big road trip. I had about a dozen different people in this car at some point, popping in and out. So there's like, it needs to get a little bit of a detail. You see foot marks back here, my backpack. In the front, everything's fine. Yes, sir. I have the easy entry set for just the steering wheel. So it moves the steering wheel out of the way. But here we are, guys. Should be a little bit quieter here. And we're inside the BMW right now. So again, 10,000 miles. It's held up fine. The headlight issue was a thing. I also got a sunroof failure for something. I don't know what happened, but the sunroof said it wasn't going to work. Well, it did work. That failure went away. The only real issue I have currently with the build of the car is, we'll start the car. See if you guys can see it. We need gas. Let's turn off the AC. So this is the gauge cluster. It's super nice. I love it at nighttime when it goes from this nice white to like orange to be easier on your eyes. Genius, genius. This is the maps. Do you see that burn in the screen? Right there is a burn, and right there is a burn. This burn's about the size of a dime. That one's a little bit smaller. They were a lot smaller when I first bought the car, but they've progressively gotten worse. And this is what like confuses me. Story time. So these luxury cars, right? BMW's been out for longer than Toyota's been out, I think. Pretty sure, 100%, maybe, probably, who knows. But the problem is how, and they've been putting out screens longer than these other luxury cars. So how are you getting the screen wrong where it's burning. I've seen it on other F10s. I'm on the Facebook forums and Facebook pages and stuff. It's happening to other, you know, F10s. How are you not getting a screen right? TVs, computers, cars, screens are everywhere. So to have a screen start burning and it's progressively getting worse, I'm getting like, I guess it's like dead pixels or something, and spreading like a cancer, that confuses me, because I'm like, how can you get a screen wrong? Another issue that these cars have like a decent amount, I guess, is the door handle fails for the convenience. You know, you walk up to a comfort access, you grab the door handle, pull it, and the car unlocks. Those apparently fail, and they're like apparently like $800 a door. How can you, like, okay, I get that's more technology wise, newer and stuff like that, but like, it's been coming out for like 20 years. Cars that my family's had that's been older than this with less miles, they don't fail. The door handles don't fail. My Altima has 200 and some thousand miles on it. Never once has the push button, you know, unlock, auto keyless entry failed me. And that one hasn't failed, but apparently it's supposed to. Otherwise, the car's been great. I've been averaging about 22 to 24 miles a gallon consistently, which is very good. Compared to my Altima, which consistently averaged 26 to 27 overall, getting 24, 23, 22 is not that bad. When you think about how much more power I have and how much more convenience and like just nicer this car is, to take a small hit on MPG, that small, is pretty good. This iDrive system, it's beautiful. Again, for an older system, it still works great. I have zero issues with it. I love all the information it tells me. Vehicle status, all that nice stuff. I do wish that you can change the oil change reminder. Like in the Altima, you can set where or when it will give you notification that you need an oil change. This car will only tell you when it, like, here, I'll show you guys. So let's say like in 6,000 miles, you can't change this. I want to change it so that it will tell me every 5,000 miles to do an oil change, not every like 10 or 12,000, because that's what the car wants. But everyone said, no, don't do it every 10 or 12,000, do it every 5,000. So that's what I want to do, but the car won't let me change this. So it's like, I'm due for an oil change, but it hasn't given me an alert yet. Otherwise, like this, just owning this car has been nice. I get compliments on it all the time. I think the exterior color is super nice. Interior is nice. The only thing, quality-wise, and I don't know if I'm just crazy, but, and I hope the GoPro can pick this up. This is the back seat, right? These are the Napa leather seats. Do you see? It looks like paint. Like, what are these lines right here? There's a set over here, and there's a set over here. It looks like veins are in the seat, but only like right here and right there. And it looks like you painted something and like the paint ran. And I don't know, it just bothers me. I notice it all the time, but it just bothers me. Otherwise, the sound system's great. Everything else in this car is great. It drives great. I have no complaints. This is the luxury car world. There are a couple things, like when I had the Altima, I was scared the transmission was going to explode. In this car, they are known for oil leaks, in the oil filter housing gasket, the valve cover gasket. If my oil pan gasket goes out, I'm screwed. It's like $2,000 almost, basically. Because I have xDrive, and it's a little daunting knowing that like a big failure like that could happen. I mean, you combined all those three things and like getting up to like $4,000 to fix all that. And if the oil filter housing gasket leaks oil on the serpentine belt, then the serpentine belt will get sucked into the engine and blah, blah, blah. I've done a lot of like research on this car, so those are things I can keep an eye on. But I'm not too like worried, because the people that have had these issues, they're still driving. They're still driving their cars, which means it's not been a catastrophic issue. Another thing is, like they say, when you buy a car like this, if you can't afford it new, you can't afford it used. I can afford this car new. So when repairs are needed, I can afford to fix them. The Altima is a little different story, because it's just transmission fails, and like I didn't have that much money. People that are buying an Altima don't expect to have a transmission failure 5,000 miles. I mean, for $5,000. This is a little different. This is more of a luxury car. Everything in this car is more expensive. Oil changes are more expensive. It takes more oil too. It takes like 7 quarts of oil versus like my Altima taking 4 quarts. Like, everything's a little bit different with this car, and that's fine. I know what I got myself into when I bought this car. I expect pricier repairs. I expect pricier tires and pricier oil changes. And in exchange, I get a driving experience that is above what the Altima can provide or a Camry can provide. And driving this around 10,000 miles in, initial impressions, it is so smooth. I don't have the run flat tires in this car. I have regular tires, which help smoothness, but I also have the 19s, which make it a little bit more harsh than the 18s. But it is so smooth. It eats highway miles. Again, I just drove 1,000 miles one way and 1,000 miles back. I just got back 2 days ago, and this thing just eats highway miles. The only thing I have with the powertrain an issue with is sometimes, and I don't know why, but I think it's normal. You start the car, you start driving it, and when the first couple shifts it does, first to second, second to first, whatever it is, it's kind of hard, it's kind of rough. Like, it kind of like jitters the car a little bit. I don't know if that's because the fluid's still warming up or what it is, but after that it's butter smooth, and you can't even, like, if you're driving it normal, you'll never know it's shifting. You don't feel it shifting. If you're just driving it like casual, it's quiet. And then when you get on, when you put in sport mode and you get on it, it bangs off those gears, boom, 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 and it feels great. And other than that, that's only the real weird thing I've noticed with this car. Otherwise, I mean, it's everything touching this car is nice. The center console is nice. Where I like rest my leg right here, it's nice. Door handles, nice. Power seats, power memory seats, nice. Folding mirrors, nice. Harman Kardon sound system, excellent. I thought my Bose system in my Altima was good. This knocks it out the park. This is amazing. I have the heads-up display, nice. Navigation pulls up on the heads-up display as well. It's beautiful. It tells you exactly what lane you need to be in. Shout out to the Romanian guy that I bought my navigation update from. I think it was like Beamer Upgrades or something on eBay. Check him out. He's a genius. Again, I just drove all the way to New York. All my maps were correct. You know, this car originally had 2015 maps. All my maps were correct in this car. My navigation was correct. Aside from like road work, which most cars can't account for if they're like a lane shutdown or whatever. It's been perfect. Yeah, other than that, I mean, I got dimming mirrors, which is super nice. Never had that before in a car. Makes a huge difference at nighttime. Normally what I do is if somebody's blinding me, I tilt my mirror out away from me, which probably shoots the light back at them, but they can go screw themselves. Swiveling headlights, amazing. But yeah, so far, like, everything's been fine. Everything you touch is just nice. Like, you know you're not in a fully loaded Altima with leather. You're not in a fully loaded, you know, Camry with leather. And again, you sit this next to a 2023 Camry, yeah, it's gonna have probably more features and some nicer stuff and blah, blah, blah. But quality-wise, I think this is nicer. Fit and finish, I think this is nicer. A bunch of people have driven this car, a bunch of people have ridden in this car, and they always say it's a nice car. It's very nice, it's very smooth, like, and they're shocked. And they're shocked when I tell them what year it is, because you don't expect it to be that old. But yeah, I mean, we're at 54,000 miles on this car now. She could use a clean, as you guys can see the door panels, see the little marks on it, little feet marks on the floor. I try to keep it clean. That's some yogurt that's spilled and some like wrappers right there. Gotta throw those in the garbage. But otherwise, it's held up very well. And again, 10,000 miles in 6-7 months. I didn't expect to drive the car this much, but I am. For people that are looking into getting BMWs, do your research, look into it. Again, if you can't afford to fix it new, can't afford to buy the car used. This isn't something I would half-ass in repairs. Now, I'm not saying go to the dealership and let them whack you on repairs, but I am saying at the same time, don't take it to your local mechanic that like doesn't know BMWs. I have my mechanic. I'm not gonna let him touch this car. I'm taking it if it needs work, and like if I have to rush, dealership. If I don't have to rush, there's actually like a 5-star rated DAS Auto mechanic, something like that. focuses only on German cars in my area. His prices are very average, normal. I mean, like the dealer, for example, quoted me $2,200 to do the brakes, front and back sensors. He quoted me $1,400 to do them. Total all in, I did them for like 700 and no wait, the parts were 700, and then I paid my friend 300 to do them, which was a steal. So $1,000 all in. And my friend did it. My friend is a coder and all that stuff like that, so that's why it was okay for me. So I don't think his price was that far off. But otherwise, guys, great car. Does everything I needed to do. No complaints so far. So, you know, here's to another 10,000 miles basically. I'll check in. Now, okay, here's the problem. I might get rid of the car. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be straight with you guys. I might get rid of the car. Like, I keep looking at Teslas. I don't know what's wrong with me. I have a problem inside of me. There's something psychologically wrong with me, and I need a Tesla Model 3. I don't know why. And it didn't help my case that the new Highland came out, and it gave me features that I wanted it if I'm gonna buy a new car, which is the cooled seats, and NVH is lower because I thought the car was kind of loud when I first drove it, and a couple other like tweaks. And they have a little bit more range now because they did a little bit more tweaks. They don't have bigger batteries, but it's a whole thing. So I might get rid of the car. I might not, because I don't know, because I want to get the car, but I don't want to also pay $15,000 extra for self-driving. But I do want self-driving, but I don't want to pay the $15,000 for it. So, I mean, if he lowers the price and makes it more tangible, then that's fine. Otherwise, I'm not paying 60 grand basically, 58, 60 grand for a car like that, when I can just go get like a normal car that's more luxurious. I can find something for 60 grand that's a little bit more, that offers a little bit more than the BMW offers. I mean, than like Tesla offers. But we will see. But for now, we're keeping the car. But it's been solid so far. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Just wanted to give you guys an update. I love doing update videos of my cars. Again, the Ultima had its own update videos. Those have done very well over the last 4 or 5 years. And yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe I end up keeping the car for another 200,000 miles. Who knows? But yeah, thanks for tuning in, people.